at the Oliver Woods Community Center. With me is Jim Routledge, who is running for the upcoming mayor election. Yay! So what made you decide to run for mayor, and why?
Well, it was a bit of a creeping commitment, actually. I started, I guess, a couple of years ago. If you want to go right back, I got involved with the Transportation Committee, and it introduced me to a little bit of the workings of Nanaimo, the city operations and the staff and the roles of councillors and the average public person. That was interesting because I was promoting electric vehicles at the time, and that's something that actually has come full circle and was recently voted through council. We're getting 4 publicly accessible electric vehicle charging stations.
Good.
So
Yay.
I felt kind of good about that. But that led to an interest in the new zoning bylaw that came out and was adopted last month. I spent about a year, I guess, babysitting or promoting it. I guess I was in favor of it. I actually decided to wait on a project that I was working on, and the features of the new zoning bylaw allow me to do more density, more affordable, a little more efficient land use. So I really liked that. And so that came through. The next thing was the supportive housing, which propped up in my neighborhood, right just down the road from where I'm doing my little subdivision. And I had to very quickly get my head around that subject, and I analyzed it. I made several trips to Victoria, got information that led me to believe that there was an option that would work, that I could support, and was constructive. So that's the point at which I kind of realized that it wasn't just enough for me to be okay with this stuff, that in order for me to really justify my interest in being a builder and a developer, I had to also actively support the supportive housing component. And then sort of creeping in the background of all of that is my history with Newcastle Island and my interest in getting a bridge.
Bridge, yay, I'm up for that.
That's kind of a sleeper, but I really do feel that that's an economic development opportunity waiting to happen.
And now that we've touched on the controversy, which is good. I was going to leave that to the little end there, but since you've said it now, which is good, let's get it out now. As a developer, and you're in support, and like you said, this is in your neighborhood for the supportive housing. Yeah. And now, what are some of the reasons why I don't live in Nanaimo? So, what are some of the reasons why you think the naysayers are not for this?
Well, I don't think it's so much about being a naysayer as it is not being convinced. And I think it's so natural to say, until I can find something to be supportive of, I'm not going to be supportive. And that's fine, that's understandable, that's natural. And I went through the same process myself. I had to kind of get my head around the options and if there was anything in there that I could live with. And I did that. Like I say, it took me several weeks of running around the countryside and talking to people to get kind of comfortable. And I did document all this on a blog, and several people have kind of walked through the experience with me and come, I think, a little closer to where they are supportive of it.
Do you think it's because it's beside a senior's home, and it's because it's big? It's like not a small housing unit; it's a bigger unit, and there's like so many people, and they can still use. Is that some of the reasons why people are not for it?
I think the main reason people aren't for it is because they don't understand the process.
Okay.
The process that's being used here is so different than anything I'd ever run into as a businessman at IBM or as a builder. And the best analogy I can use, it's in business, you're used to a situation where a solution goes looking for a need. And in this, it's the other way around. You've got this need that's looking for a solution. And the only way, if you support the whole idea of ending homelessness, the only way to get there is to support the people that are working in the field.
Absolutely.
So it's a little tricky. I haven't really got it all sorted out.
Know yet.
Yeah, but I am getting closer, and I'm actually going up to Kelowna in the near future to look at some work they've done with some computer modeling that actually helps people understand the reasons that sites get selected in different ways. So I'm hoping to have a little more information to share.
Good, sounds good. Now what I want you to tell us a little bit more about the person behind Jim. Who are you? Who are you?
It's just this guy. Well, I grew up in Vancouver and did a commerce degree at UBC and worked for IBM for a couple of years, and then decided I needed to travel and went offshore sailing, did some adventures, and ended up coming over to the island and getting involved with the construction industry. I was in the flooring business, bidding on commercial flooring jobs like the one we're standing in here. I didn't do this one, but I did bid it, which I'm quite familiar with the plans and working with professionals and building things. So
And what are some of the other changes or directions or platforms that you stand for?
Well, for instance, council itself, I do think that there is a role that the mayor can evolve into instead of just being one vote of 9. I think the mayor's office does have some staff, does have some ability to generate information that can be shared not only amongst the councillors but beyond, to the public. And I think that's a huge part of what is perceived as an issue of transparency, but I think really is a communications
Yes.
situation. So I think having council operate more efficiently, trusting the processes that we have available, things like public hearings, the rezoning applications that go through, there's a process that allows for public input. And I'd like to trust that, let that happen, and let staff continue to work on the things that they're best at.
Right.
So it's a combination of, I think, just stepping up our game a little bit.
Sounds good. And so what are some of the what are some things that you're passionate about? Some things that you want to see in Nanaimo that you're very passionate about, the issues that Jim is passionate about?
Well, okay, economic development is huge.
Yes.
My son is 24 years old. He's a drywaller. He's not working in Nanaimo right now. He's working in Courtenay. He's worked in Victoria. I'd like to see, our vibrant economy restored. It's been pretty good. We've had a good run, and I can see that a lot of it is about attracting people and generating interest. And that's where my bridge to Newcastle Island is all about. Stanley Park is to Vancouver. Let's have people a reason, and I think from that we will see things like a foot ferry, like a hotel, even a multiplex. I can see those things evolving if we have the core interest that will draw people here and provide a pleasant day in the sun for anybody, young and old.
So you are for the fast ferries then?
Oh, totally. I see it as a step-by-step kind of balanced thing, which comes first.
And can I just ask your opinions on the conference center? What do you think about the conference center?
I think it's great.
Okay.
We've had some good meetings in there, and it's nice to see council having a very professional environment to work in. I think it's a great asset, and we can work with that.
Good. Okay, sounds good. So, folks, is there anything else you want to say before we
Well,
go off the air?
I don't mind adding
Sure.
one vote of confidence
Yes.
to Mr. Rattan. I do feel that he's done a good job
Yes.
in helping things get moving.
Right.
Over his tenure, we've seen the Economic Development Corporation
Right.
started up. We've seen a new city administrator, and of course, John being there is a new blood. There's been a lot of movement that's created, and I do feel that he deserves a vote of confidence for that. And I would like to just see the pace get stepped up a bit. I
And
hope
he's
to-
friendly. That's
a
what I
good
like.
guy.
Yeah, he's a good, friendly guy. Which you like it. Your mayor to be that way. Well, there you have it, folks. Here we are with Jim Routledge, and for upcoming election, if you want to vote for Jim here, there you go. Thank you,
Thank you,
Jim.
Derek.
Thank you.